I think the TV show Ms. Marvel needs to take some notes on how to properly use Djinn in their series, because this is how you do it. Under the Shadow, released in 2016. I don't know what that is. Oh, I'm having fun today. And this film is directed by Babak Anvari, who is also behind such films like 2 and 2 and Wounds. And this film is starring Bobby Nadiri, Ray Hartian, and Arish Marandi. And the reason why we're talking about Under the Shadow today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my longtime subscribers and contributors on this channel, named the Stars. Thank you very much for this recommendation. I think you put this in a while ago and I've just never gotten to it, but it's September. We're getting to the horror season. Actually, after this review, I'm probably going to put up my Halloween decorations because in my opinion, Halloween actually starts in August. That's how crazy in love I am with Halloween. It is the 1980s in Tehran during the War of the Cities, and this small family is living in an apartment complex in the middle of all the fighting. And after her husband is called away to assist in war efforts, she decides to stay in her original home with her daughter instead of visiting relatives far off where the fighting is not happening. Big mistake on her end, of course, because this building that she lives in is being haunted by Djinn, and she and her daughter are the main focus of all of their terror. Why? I don't know. Djinn are just, they're assholes. That's what they are. They're assholes. That was really the main thing I was thinking while watching this film. Like, why are you torturing this mother and her daughter? Like, there's nothing in this house that is like, oh, we're secluded here. We can only haunt here. Like, no, you could have gone anywhere. But you decide to just terrorize this mother and her daughter. Why? Why? They're not bad people. They've done nothing wrong. They're nice people. But kudos to this movie because I feel like it does go beyond the standard supernatural home invasion stereotypes and tropes that we get in horror films. Because while this film's, especially later half, focus on the supernatural stuff, we have this character Shade dealing with a bunch of horrors in her regular everyday life. The horror of being subservient to men, the horror of being really chastised by society if she goes out in public uncovered. The fact that she has a VCR player in her home apparently is a terrible thing. And she was this close to becoming an official doctor, but because many years before, when she was in school, she was doing a whole bunch of political activist stuff, and I guess the other side won, and therefore she is being shunned by her medical departments and everything, so she can't go to school. So she's dealing with a lot of prejudice and just really terrible viewpoints on women in society from where she's living. Now, I'm not from Iran or Iraq where this film takes place, so I have no idea about the history or the politics that goes around in there, so I don't mean any offense by what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't understand it because I'm over here. I'm not a part of that. So I was just trying to grasp my understanding of why this woman is dealing with so much really shit outside of all the supernatural stuff. And it didn't make sense to me, and it was frustrating. At one point, she and her daughter get so scared that she picks her up and runs out of the apartment building, just trying to run away as far as she can, but then she's really pulled over. I mean, she's not in a car, but she's stopped, and because she wasn't in a garb or something, she was taken to the police station, and apparently she could have been, like, put in jail or killed for some reason, and here's just this woman who is just terrified for her life and the life of her daughter, but yet we're just gonna focus on, oh, you're wearing a shirt and pants, and I'm a man. I'm offended by that, woman. I don't care. We're all people. We're all entitled to our bodies the same way that everyone else is, I feel. Like, if you want to show more skin, just show more skin. And you, on the other side of that, you could be mature and just look at it and then go about your day and not view it. I feel like I'm digging myself a hole with this, and I'm going to stop. Hard stop, Caleb. Talk about the movie. Even though that's kind of part of the movie and the politics that go behind it and the things that they were talking about in society. Stop it. Hard stop. Talk about the movie. It's a horror movie. We got Djinn in here. I love Djinn. I love gin and tonics, but this is a different type of Djinn. Get back on topic, Caleb. Oh my god, where am I going with this? The film does eventually become scary. How about that? There we go. There's my in. I'm back into talking about this review. And I like the gradual build to the supernatural horror aspect because really in the first half, there is no sign of anything. Yes, the kid is kind of being a little weird with her doll, and I was kind of getting the idea that, oh, this is going to be like an Annabelle situation, and the doll's going to have some shit to do here, but no, eventually we get to the Djinn. And I've seen the TV show Supernatural, I know what Djinn do, and they're pretty freaking creepy. Unlike the MCU version of Djinn in Ms. Marvel, they are freaking terrible. I do feel that the horror aspects of this film do rely on the jump scare a little too much. There are points in this movie where, yes, you feel the horror coming on, and you feel that the jump scare is about to happen. And then when it does happen, I feel a little cheated, actually, because it was like, oh, it's obvious that it's going to happen here. And then it happens. I was expecting maybe like a fake out, or maybe not relying too heavily on jump scares. That's kind of a small nitpick, though. The jump scares actually did jump me a lot when they happen. Of course, it's all due to really the sound effects, because really the sound just drops out. Everything drops out, and then all of a sudden this hand breaks through a window, and you're like, ah! Pretty freaking scary stuff! Now the Djinn in here, when we get the people that really like know what Djinn are, or at least have experience with Djinn, they talk about them being figures or entities that ride on the wind, and when the wind is blowing, that's when they are moving, and they move from place to place and person to person, affecting them and absorbing them. I like that concept, and that's a very spooky story, but how this film relies on showing you wind because you can't see wind. So to show us that, okay, there's a Djinn outside, or the wind is blowing, if there is a Djinn person like in the hallways or outside the window, they have them covered with like a bed sheet or a towel or something, and I thought that was just kind of a little cheap. Like, we don't need that. Just, why would a Djinn be wearing something that would give away their position? Like, you wouldn't do that. Unless, of course, it's a movie and the audience needs to know where they are. It was just a dumb little aspect of this terrible, horrifying entity that was being used in this film. Like, you're giving away your position. Just don't wear the thing. Just float around. You're the freaking wind. I am focusing a lot on these little tiny nitpicks that I have on the aspects of this movie, but I really did enjoy this. This is a very solid film. When I watched it on Netflix and when it started with the English dubbing. If you're going to watch this movie, stop that shit right now. The US dubbing is awful. It is terrible. It is force. It is just line readings. Turn that shit off. Turn the English subtitles on. Put this film in Persian, the original language of this movie, and continue on. It is so much better. It's a nice little start to the Halloween season for me, and I can't wait to really get into the Halloween festive stuff and decorate my set. Thank you very much, Name the Stars, for this. This was a nice little horrifying treat. I'm gonna give Under the Shadow 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen Under the Shadow, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you'll know the next time I release the next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.